Yes.
That's important. That's important. Okay. So the epistemology issue, how do we know things? If we're empiricists and we're getting all of our information from our sense, but I can't see the thing in itself. The thing in itself is how a thing is apart from the way it appears to me. Because all my sense awareness of a thing comes from my sense. You know today that a snake sees things differently than we do. Plus, they don't think in terms that we do because they use snake language. Parcel tongue. How do I speak a language when I don't know I can? Sorry. Back. Good question, Harry. Because you can't. That doesn't work that way. Lady Rowling is just making this up. Sorry. So the problem then for Locke is whatever we think we know is just the way things appear to us. It's our perspective. But the way things really are in themselves would be the primary characteristics of the thing. And we can't actually get to those. But we can, Locke thinks, assume that, like if I have the football, in my hand, I can, smell the pigskin, I can feel the mud on my face because I've just been tackled on a muddy field, and I can feel the, how the football, has that, how it feels and everything, all of those are secondary characteristics of the thing perceived by me because of the way my senses interpret it. But I can at least know the primary characteristics of the thing is that it has a shape. So I can't, just put my hands together. The football will block me from putting it there. So there are primary characteristics of the thing which are responsible for that interaction I have with my senses that gives me the perspective of a smelly football that for some reason, just like the grass, makes you love it. Because I'm playing football, and I'm bleeding because I just got tackled because I had the football. I'll throw the football to somebody else, and now they're happy because they've got the football. And everybody's trying. I want to get the football.
Humans are so funny. Like, that's such a human thing to do, and it's so funny.
I love humans.
They just like made up a game.
Except the ones that are like shooting everybody else.
Yeah, no.
Or breaking into my car last night. I don't like those humans.
I don't think I like those humans either.
They didn't manage to steal anything of much value, which is nice.
But they annoyed the heck out of me.
Yeah, made a mess. Yeah, made a mess, and now I have to clean it, and I'm looking at more car security things. Camera and a glass sensor alarm that will connect to my car.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
There's
do
some
something.
Not those kinds of humans, but like the adorable humans, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the cute
Babies.
ones.
Like babies. Yeah.
The real definition of boys will be boys.
So there are ugly humans out there.
Like golden retriever boys.
Why do you like a specific one?
I was coming in from Baltimore to do the show, and, well, I was on the train there, and I'm settled in my seat. I'm very relaxed, very relaxed. And the first thought that passed through my mind was to familiarize myself with the surroundings. And I glanced across the aisle, and I noticed that the lady occupying the seat there had her baby with her. Ugly baby. Bad-looking baby. Now, generally I'd hesitate about passing an opinion about somebody's kid, but this was, even if I don't say it, it's an ugly baby. I only took one quick look, like that. In from the front of the coach comes this guy, the guy's, he's had a few. And as he approached the section where the woman was with the baby, he stops and he stared, like that. And the woman's watching. She's watching him from the corner of her eye. She says to him, "What are you looking at?" The guy says, I'm looking at that ugly baby. That's a bad looking baby, lady. You save a lot of money with that baby. You don't have to hire any babysitter. Nobody's gonna bother that kid. The lady gets offended. She gets offended.
Of course she
Does
does.
that make sense? And she pulls the emergency cord, the train stops, there's a big scene in there, everybody's crowding around it, and you know the guy who goes to the train selling those 25-cent sandwiches for $1.50. He comes in, big scene, the conductor comes in, the conductor says, what's going on? What's going on here? And the lady said, this fellow just insulted me. And I don't have to spend my money to ride this railroad and be insulted. The conductor said, now calm down. He said, madam, the Pennsylvania Railroad will go to any length to avoid having differences between the passengers. Said perhaps it would be more to your convenience if we were to rearrange your seating. And as a small compensation from the railroad, if you accompany me to the dining car, we'll give you a free meal. Maybe we'll find a banana for your monkey.
I don't think that was politically correct even then, but it's not politically correct. So don't go out there and tell people about Flip Wilson and the ugly baby. But just as proof, see, there's ugly babies out there. So not all humans are. I don't really believe that.
Like fresh out, like fresh in the oven.
Fresh
Yeah,
out
like
of
they're
the
just,
oven.
yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Just
I
like little
cheated.
single ones.
I waited until mine were at least hours old.
Yeah, it takes a while, you know, they gotta form, you know, it takes yeah, you gotta rise, you know.
Right. They're smelly,
Yeah, you know.
crusty.
They look angry when they come out.
Yeah.
It said 3 months when God puts odor in the poo-poo.
Why is he forsaking us? So,
That's Bill Cosby. Am I allowed to use Bill Cosby?
I don't understand. What did he do? I'm so lost.
we just
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. We got like 7 minutes of the class. But I don't know if it has to do with the roofie jokes. Well, not interpreted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't jumped on that rabbit hole.
You did bad things.
He did a lot of.
So let's
So a
kind
lot
of
of-
wrap this up, because
I can't watch the go anymore.
like 6 minutes, you guys are going to vamoose. And that means I won't see you for at least a week. But so, and when we come back, we'll be talking about, see, after Locke, we do Berkeley, and we'll do Leibniz. And for Leibniz's class, I'll have to remember to bring in my Fig Newtons and my Leibniz crackers. In any case, so the main things I'm hoping you get is the legitimating narrative that we have is much more, not Hobbes, but John Locke. Of course, it's evolved. So, but that's the basic narrative that we have, is that we have a social contract, we've agreed to these rules, and the rules are based on kind of a law of nature of how civilized human beings should behave, etc. And rights, by the way, I should mention, even though if you go to China, they don't have rights, they don't know what you're talking about, they think you're crazy, but they're actually signatories to the UN Declaration of Human Rights, which was concocted by Eleanor Roosevelt. Am I on the right? Yeah, so here I'm at the, so there are signatories, I think like 190 different countries that have signed this document that agrees that people have rights and dignity, etc. Although in practice, of course, as you're probably well aware, even countries that are signatories have signed the document, interpret the document quite differently, etc. But so Locke, very important. with regard to political science, we'll see, we'll talk a little bit about Rousseau. I'll throw him in there even though I hate him. Sorry. But he's the one that stuffed children in closets.
Oh, that's really
And
good.
figured, you know, in 4 years we'll take them out and see what language they speak.
What? Wait,
It's an
wait.
experiment. You know, the idea is to find out, you know, well, of course they're going to speak French, because French is God's language. Except, well, he didn't really believe in God. But at the same time, he also just thought, yeah, everybody will speak French. But when they came out of the closet, they didn't speak any.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck?
Shocker.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Greeks thought, you know, everybody that doesn't understand Greek is barbarian. Barbarian, that's where we get that word, foreigners.
Okay, so I guess they didn't understand how language worked. I guess that's the nature of the experiment.
When did we? Do we actually understand how language works? Wow. Still working on that, right? Basically. So the significant things, the empiricist, British empiricist problem, we will actually see more to that. You know, I kind of just introduced it because, you know, we can't really see the thing in itself. We only see it as it appears to us. And so we wonder scientifically, how do we know what it really is like? You know, and we now know that, well, there's a wider world out there because our human senses are limited. There's other ways of, you know, infrared, ultraviolet, different. Elephants speak for 3 miles through their feet somehow. The way they rumble, you know, they communicate with other elephants for up to 3 miles. They measured it. You know, so you know, one of them is calling for help. They can call for help through the ground. You can feel the call for help through the ground. Giraffes. I didn't, you know, when I was a kid, giraffes didn't speak except for the one that says, "Oh, I want a Clark bar." That's a black and white commercial. They made the giraffe say, "Oh, I want a Clark bar," and it was silly, you know, because giraffes don't really say, "I want a Clark bar." Probably
Unless
wouldn't
they
even go for
do,
them.
unless they do, what if they do,
Maybe it's not there.
when no one's around?
Well, what we now know is that giraffes speak all the time, but their voices are at a decibel, I guess, a frequency that we can't hear.
So
Yeah.
they're like always high pitched or like really low.
It's a rumble, a low rumble, I guess. But yeah, they're using that throat to communicate all kinds of things. We just never thought we thought they were mute. And they're not, you know. So I mean, these are just easy things. You know, we also have the microscope. We also have the macroscope, telescope. I mean, you know, you know, in a way, we're still limited though to the way humans perceive things, even with those devices. Because theoretically, we can't get to the thing in itself. And so what's going to happen, of course, is this is going to become a next stage when we go to Berkeley and everything. What else is important here? Locke doesn't get that much treatment because even though he introduces this political legitimating narrative that we use, it's gone on in many more hands and thoughts, right? So we don't get that much concern with figuring out what he's talking about. Property rights, you know, who owns what? You know, well, that's so significant, but you know, doesn't really come out that much the way we study things. It should, though. I mean, it's a critique of the way we study things and what we learn in history. You know, that we're not getting, you know, I think some really meaty things out there that are important. Rights, what the rights are. So I guess those are the main things I wanted to make sure you get from John Locke. So he wasn't a family guy, no children, no wife. So, you know, I don't know if he's an ideal kind of philosopher, you know, to, you know, try to imitate at all.
Not for romance.
But
Unless you're gonna sing
so
colors
any
anymore.
questions for me? How was it?
That's good.
It's good.
1 out of 10.
I think it's important for folks to like enjoy the class.
Yeah, the
So.
ugly baby jokes really,
Melvin will pick me up.
Is that going to get me in trouble with anyone? I mean, remember, it wasn't me. I'm not holding that point of view. That was Flip Wilson.
Oh, no.
He's the one that did that joke.
I mean, you just have like.
And that was his first. That was his first visit to Johnny Carson, and he became famous as a comedian after that.
I think you'll live.
None of this is my fault. I'm just, I'm being paid by you guys, actually my wife. Because you paid the tuition and my wife gets the money.
Your wife gets the money.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I highly recommend young men marry the smartest woman that will marry you, and then do what they say.
I
Because
have
they
to
are
argue
so
with that.
much smarter.
I have to agree.
They're so much smarter than.
I was like, you would,
The quiz question.
yeah.
The quiz question is, what do you think of John Locke's materialism? Because Barclay is going to be furious with it, as we will see. That will be the main theme in the next class. Barclay being upset with materialism according to Locke. Because if people start believing that stuff, they won't have any reason to believe in God. And they will lose their faith in God. And guess what? He's absolutely right. Because if you go to Europe, I think I've mentioned, you go to, French cathedrals and you're tourists looking at the art. And then there's maybe 5 or 6 old people for Mass on Sunday morning.
Well, but yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that.
They're beautiful. They're great to go see. My favorite way to see them, though, is with my Oculus Rift and Google Earth. Because you're in there, you look around, and then don't forget that your dog is right here on the floor, so don't step on your dog. If you're not really in the cathedral, you are in your living room using your Oculus. Have a good break. Still in the mood for conversation, but I'll move upstairs if we are.
I was just gonna say, I'm sorry I missed yesterday.
Yesterday? I missed yesterday.